Hey, what's going on? I'm Theo Von, and welcome to another edition of the Comedy Sideshow. We're going to catch up this week with my favorite recyclable comedian, Todd Glass. And a little later, we were very lucky, and we got a drop in by the humor himself, Mr. Jonny Loquasto. This is the Comedy Sideshow.
Hi, this is Pablo Francisco, and you're watching the Comedy Sideshow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If it is nighttime, I'm Theo Von, and they say that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I don't know about that, but I do know that Todd Glass is sitting here right next to me.
How you doing?
You heard him?
What do I work to you or the camera? I'm not sure. I never know.
Talk to
Mike,
anything.
Barry's answering me like I'm serious. Let me explain what's going on here. Barry, our camera guy, thought I was being serious. He either way, I don't care, because he's a Jew. Alrighty.
I am happy to be here. I'm non-denominational. I see you brought this word curtain with you.
Well, I was laying over there, but I thought over there, see, it's so bright, and I didn't like it, so I saw it laying on the... So I brought it to have my own little... You see the difference? Get that shot, Barry. Barry's the camera guy. I know you do a lot more. He tells me. Hey, look at that. Hey, we're at a show.
Look at that.
Would you have a show with a white table? What show have you ever seen that has a white tablecloth? When you watch Conan O'Brien, do they go, let's put a white tablecloth? You put something dark. There you go.
He brought his own little square of darkness here. What is that?
You know what's depressing me more than anything? I'm going to be honest with you,
Yeah.
Theo. By the way, hello.
Oh, nice to see you, Todd. Thank you very much for joining us.
And I'm not an insult. I'm going to bring it out because I'm in the moment. But whatever, and this is just what it is. There's no, once I point this out, you can't go, oh, no, there's no backing. I just noticed something. Whatever Mike is doing on his phone is more interesting than anything I would have to say. When I started doing something over here, I could only think of, I was over there, I know this seems weird, I'm going to put myself in that league, and Dave Cross started to talk. I'd probably go, I think I want to see what Dave Cross is saying. But this is on me, not Mike.
It's Todd.
It's me. You think I'm putting the pressure on him?
No.
I'm thinking, what? But now I don't want him to listen now because now it's awkward. But anyway, I'm here. We're ready to go. I don't want him yelling.
You look great, man. I thought you were going to look worse. To be honest, I don't mean that in a bad light. I mean, I've just seen like a lot of videos of you over the years, and I've also seen you perform murder on stage. There are some comedians that are murderers. This guy kills with laughter. Kills. Hurts people. This guy makes people laugh so hard that gays come out during his set. They're just ha ha ha. This guy makes
Why do
it
I think
happen.
it's so funny? I'm the vainest person in the world. I guess the fact that you think I look good, I was fine with saying I thought you were going to look worse.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, oh, Todd Glass,
Probably look bloated.
Yeah, but
You know when you see a guy, if you haven't seen him in a while, and you go home, you're like, you look a little bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of the death in you.
Yeah, I know a guy, I see him walking around my gym, he'll do everything to take care of himself except lose weight.
Yeah.
So he's fat with a bad toupee, which I think he puts highlights in it. I don't know how the fuck that happens.
But that's easy to do. Just hold it like this.
Yeah, picture that guy home putting highlights in his toupee. Life has not been nice to you if you're putting highlights in your toupee. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that you think I look good, I feel good. I lost 25 pounds.
Did you?
I'm turning into that person.
That's good. No, definitely. Definitely. You seem like you lost 25 pounds just telling jokes. Or no, how'd you lose it?
You know what? It's all I do. It's just common sense. But
Right.
all I do is think about. I quit smoking for a while too.
Ooh, that's big.
And my favorite thing used to be to come here to the Improv, and first thing I do is grab a smoke, hang out outside. And there was a point when I first quit smoking where I thought, well, why go to the Improv? I'm not going to be able to smoke.
Right.
And it's
wow,
weird.
that big of a deal, huh?
Yeah, like I thought that's what I do. I'll go outside, I'll smoke, and it affected me for about 8 months.
So it shows you how much power it had. Like, it wasn't even the fact of like hanging out with other people. Not that wasn't it, but it was like, I'm not gonna be able to smoke. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it was definitely the camaraderie, but also mixed with smoking cigarettes. And the more it became harder to smoke, the more of a bond you had with people outside that did smoke.
Definitely.
Yeah, do you smoke?
Yeah, smoke sometimes.
Oh,
and I enjoy it, man.
I know, you should. It's fun.
I enjoy it. I actually smoked a little while ago. If you want to close your eyes from right here, I'll just blow.
No, I don't mind people smoking. Sometimes even at my house, I never really smoked in my house, even when I smoked. But
Right.
if I had people over for dinner, it's like 10 people, and after we were all done dinner, someone would go, can I? And they wouldn't know. They'd go, I'm going to go outside to smoke. And I would be like, smoke here.
Smoke here.
There was something cool about old style, pushing the chair out, getting the ashtray.
It's cool.
It's fun.
No, people don't do that, especially in California. People are afraid to do anything in their homes that could like start a disease or like, you know, have somebody tweet angrily, you know? People get real nervous here. I like that. I don't know anybody that smokes or even has allowed someone to smoke in their home here.
I do, once in a while, because it's, you know, but although I can smell a cigarette, like if somebody, my brother stayed at my house and he had one cigarette. I believe him too. 3 days before I got home, I walked in, I was like, when I'm there smoking during the party, I think I'm slowly getting used to it.
Right.
By morning, my nose has smelled it all night, but when I walk into it,
You knew.
this is, I always do that. Whenever I get caught up in it, which I'm enjoying this conversation, I'm being honest. I'm enjoying it, but I always get paranoid.
Really?
Yeah, like I'll be like, people are like, great, who gives a shit about your smoking in your house?
Oh, nobody gives a shit about anything. This is for God, I think. I'm playing this for God. When it's time for you and I, just ring that last bell. He's going to take a peek at this, and we're just going to seem like decent gentlemen. That's what I'm hoping.
You know what I love about, I thought about something the other day. I know this isn't a religious podcast.
No, it's okay.
I always hear people say, not every religious person says this, by the way. I always know people are going to be listening to this, and if you're not very clear, they go, well, I don't say that. So I'm only addressing the religious people that say, only that pocket of religious people. Other religious people this doesn't apply to because you never said this.
Yes.
But when they say, and I never had the answer, I laid in bed, I'm not kidding you, 3 nights ago, and I came up with this answer. We can keep this short.
Yeah, no, go.
People go, well, if there wasn't a God and people thought they didn't have anybody to answer to, there'd be chaos.
Right.
There'd be chaos.
I've heard that and I've said that.
And I went, there's chaos! What the fuck has to go on? And sarcastically, I went to say something. What, do people have to be raping people in the streets? And I go, they are!
Yeah, I know.
So why do people think that this world, I mean, look, I'm happy and I love it here and I find peace and harmony and a lot of great things.
Right.
But there's fucking chaos.
There is.
Maybe it's not working, having people be scared of something they're not positive is there. Right?
That's a good point. Maybe it's not, definitely not as much anymore, I don't think. But that's a really good point. People are like, well, there would be chaos.
There's chaos.
Somebody got raped. Did you read this at a Denver airport in a terminal around 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
Some woman got raped at a gate. At a terminal gate.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be was it one of those bitchy women that wouldn't let, doesn't want to ask, like I go, is there any way I can get an aisle seat? And they go, well, didn't you hear my announcement? Because maybe they deserve to be raped.
I don't know. I'll tell you this.
All right, rape jokes are not funny. Edit that out.
I'll say this though. She gave up her middle seat to somebody who fucking wasn't expecting it, or was expecting it.
Wait, say that again.
She gave up her middle seat to somebody that was expecting it.
Yeah.
But no, someone got raped at a gate at a Denver airport. There were some baggage handlers outside. They saw some window. They saw some hair flailing by the window. At first, one of them thought, he thought it was a show. Somebody was putting on a show. Like, it just shows what kind of people are out there. Then they realized that it looked like someone was getting raped because a woman kept getting slammed against, like, the window.
Wait, in the car?
In the airport. They were outside on the tarmac, these baggage handlers.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
You know what, seriously, I'm going to say, if you're in the moment, you can never look back and go, I shouldn't have said that. I don't mind making twisted jokes, but I probably should have commented on it on a more serious level before I
don't think so, man. I mean, these days there are people there are rape fantasies. There are people that are raping for fun.
That's true. You know, old-fashioned rape you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're not talking old-fashioned sneak up with the knife and fuck. We're talking two people meet, they start fucking, one of them gets in an argument, isn't as into it, but the orgasm's already started, you know?
There's a comedian out of Boston, and we should learn who it is and in post put it here.
Okay.
Gary Goldman was telling me about it.
Hilarious.
And he goes, he just heard the punchline of the joke. We don't know who the comedian is. At least I forget.
Oh, okay.
Gary told me, but this punchline makes me want to learn who this is, because if he has other punchlines like this, it's so twisted. He goes, I'm talking rape. Good old-fashioned meat and potatoes rape. Not new type, where like you just said.
Not that vegan rape.
Yeah, good old-fashioned meat and potatoes rape. And you know what he means by that joke? Where someone broke into the house, someone you didn't know. Look, we'll take a break. We'll talk more about rape.
Alrighty, and we're back, because we never left. But,
how's this going so far?
I think it's great.
We're having a nice conversation.
Yeah.
Where'd you start comedy?
I started comedy in New Orleans, actually. Which
New Orleans?
is a brother city to Philadelphia, which is where you started comedy.
I did.
Did you actually start there?
I started in Philadelphia at a place called the Comedy Works. And the first time I went to see comedy, I didn't even know what to expect. Like, I didn't know there were the in-between stages of comics.
Right.
I think it might not be,
everybody's a headliner.
Yeah, I thought everybody was like either Rodney Dangerfield or Don Rickles big, like those old school guys, or Eddie Murphy or Robin Williams.
Okay.
So I went to see comedy in high school, and I didn't know that there were guys out there back then. They weren't super famous, but like Richard Lewis, you know, he was funny. He was like really Paul Reiser, Richard Lewis, Tim Allen, Roseanne Barr, and you know, they were when they came on stage. Jay Leno, I saw there, Jerry Seinfeld. Of course, you were like, oh, these guys they know what they're doing. I mean, they're funny, you know. So it was a great place to start comedy in Philadelphia.
Now, the first time did you know you wanted to become? Did you first decide you wanted to be a comedian when you first walked into a comedy club? When you first saw a show? I mean, you were obviously funny before that, because I think funny is something that just people are. That's what I think. You can learn some stuff. But
no, there's an expression: you can learn the mathematics of comedy, but you can't learn to have funny bones.
Right.
And we all know people that have funny bones. You know? You hope you do, but I can point out other people that do.
Definitely do. Yeah, no doubt. I can too.
Yeah, but you can learn the mathematics of comedy, and there are comedians, without mentioning names, that you can sit back and watch and go, oh, they figured out the mathematics of comedy, but they're not funny in their core, in their soul. Right. You know. But yeah, I knew. I mean, like it's funny, like when you meet other comics and you start hearing their story, you're like, oh yeah, that was like me. Like I thought everybody begged their parents to watch the comedian on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Really, they didn't let you, your folks?
Well, it was late at night, and I used to have to go, come on, I want to watch the comedian, and you know, that's all I wanted. I used to watch guys, I didn't even know what they were talking about.
Right.
But their cadence, I remember, forgetting his name, but he was an older comic, and he would like, ba 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 boom. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I loved it. Something about him just going off.
It's like a band going on or something.
Yeah, yeah.
A human band.
It was very this rhythm and this, but it was funny. And George Carlin, I used to have his album. My brother had his album. I didn't even know what masturbation was. I didn't get it, but fucking, I liked listening to that album. Just
See, that's
felt like
crazy.
he was talking about something. Like
Cool.
I think I know what that is.
Huh.
Anyway, so there's that.
And George Carlin was a huge back east comedian. Not that he isn't national and international.
I'm sweating.
But back east he's a serious icon there. Not that he isn't in the comedy world everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I know just growing up that it was. I mean, I always liked George Carlin, but to be honest, it was like the last 10 years where I really became a Carlin fan. Yeah, when some of his views, probably what certain people maybe hated about him. Maybe if the people that did, you know, the talking about the religion and all that stuff, obviously, I loved it. I loved him. I would just, and also I remember thinking like, you've been doing comedy how long?
I've been doing it for 8 years.
8 years. So you've probably gone through this. It sounds so cliche, but like you're like, I've had moments where like, what do I do? Am I serious or am I silly?
Right.
Like, do I want to be a social? Like, and then,
no doubt.
And I was really thinking like, do I have to? Maybe I have to rethink my act even after 25 years and go like, maybe I should. You know, focusing on one thing, and then after he died, I watched his specials, paid more attention, and so, you can do whatever you want. He would talk about silly stuff, and then he'd talk about religion for 20 minutes, and then he'd talk about, so as long as it's something that he wanted to talk about, it fit, yeah, whether it was, yeah.
Do you feel like we've lost, like there aren't as many comics like that who are talking about like their actual core beliefs, and they're just trying to make a joke?
I think there's always good comedy and bad comedy.
Right.
And, you know, I don't consider, like I always said, I want to write this down so when I'm 80, I remember to say it. I never want to be one of those guys, oh, the comedy today. It's like, there's always been good, there's always been bad, and mediocre comedy.
Right.
For the history of time. But if I had to say, I do feel, and I've said this a lot, that like in the last 5 years, I feel there's more funny new comics than there have been in a long time.
That's a good point.
And it's exciting when you see new funny people. I was at Portland Comedy Festival, and I was like, there's a lot of new, really funny people. Yeah. It was fun, you know? So new comics are fun because it's new to them, and they love talking about it as much as I do. So I love hanging out with new comics.
And so now in the past year, you have, I would say, what some people have said is one of the 5-10 best comedy albums.
Really? Darren Mack?
Okay, Darren said it.
No, I like my...
One of our producers said it, but I've heard this from people that are, you know, comedy extremists, if you will. From the Al-Qaedas of comedy, you know. From these people that are really adamant about comedy. They've said that your album, The Thin Pig, is one of their favorites. How do you feel when someone says that?
No, it makes me feel good, obviously. But you know, always when someone you think's funny says it's funny, it makes you feel, you know, inwardly feel really, and outwardly feel.
Is it
good.
originally a feeling of, oh, that feels good, or is it a feeling like, fuck yeah, it's good?
No. My first CD, I was so mortified of.
Right.
Very quickly after, too quickly. I was like, ugh. And then I complained about that to somebody once. I went, God, when am I going to stop looking back at my work and being mortified? And they gave me an answer that made me feel good. They go, hopefully never.
Right. Oh, that's a good point.
You know, because it means you've grown. So now I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I do want to look back at this one day and think I've grown. But no, after I did that, I did it in Tempe, but not in their big room. They had a room that held about 80 people.
Huh.
And I set it up the way I wanted to, very intimate. We did 4 shows. They were great crowds.
Wow.
And so I like that CD. I'm proud of that CD.
Nice.
And I'm getting ready to do an hour in August at the El Rey Theater, an hour special. And I'm excited to do that too. I've wanted that for a long time.
Really?
So I'm very excited to do that.
What would you think is like so far? I mean, obviously you have a ton of achievements. I mean, I can't go to a comedy club around the country and not see you as basically the opener. I mean, you do all the video openings for a lot of the improvs and a lot of comedy clubs. What do you think is one of your personal big? I mean, you've done all the late night shows. What's one of your biggest achievements personally? Do you feel like? Like, when did you say, "Wow, I really am a comedian"? When did it?
That's a good question. You know, I don't know if I say this in interviews because it reminds myself to be appreciative for what you do have and what you have control over. But I'm always jealous of other guys. You know,
everyone is.
I get jealous, but I do try to say that because some people go, oh, don't be jealous. Like my sister-in-law, somebody, they think they're being positive. I go, no. There's nothing wrong with being jealous. It's just what you do with it.
Right.
Do you turn it into bitterness or motivation? So try to turn it into motivation. And so just, you know, the thing that your question was, there's not one major thing. For me, there hasn't been. I don't feel like yet.
Right.
Although, even though I don't know why I say this in like I wish it was something different.
Right.
But I don't know why, because probably Last Comic Standing, it did most for my career in a like, you know, it would be if you got a new sitcom. That was the closest I've ever come, and I didn't think it would. Obviously, I mean, when I did it, I was like, I didn't even know if I should do it. But to this day, I mean, that was a lot of TV exposure to get. Yeah. You know, so when you went back to the clubs, you know,
people knew.
Yeah, and you know the thing that, you know, because I don't want to, like 20 years from now be going, oh, Last Comic Standing, but I think what happens is people saw me on that would have in the past flipped by me on Conan O'Brien or Jimmy Kimmel. Now they're like, oh, that's that guy. So hopefully it perpetuates, and if you keep working it, but that sort of got it started. Yeah. But that's probably, you know, sort of one of the bigger.
Was it weird for you as a person to think like, okay,
I'm sweating up a storm. Do we have a rag?
Can we get a rag? Can we get a spray rig?
Can we?
Do we have was there a time where, like, because if it's weird for me if someone says, what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a comedian.
Thank you. That's a good question. My friends, hold on, here we go. Relax, everybody. I'm going to wipe the sweat.
Everybody relax. It's de-sweating. It's like de-icing a plane.
My friends were teasing me. I don't mention I'm a stand-up comic on an airplane anymore.
Right.
But I used to all the time.
Right.
Now my friends affectionately tease me. They go, come on, Todd. And they were doing an impersonation of me. So I'll do my impersonation of them imitating me.
Okay,
cool. So
sit up.
I'm on the plane.
Okay.
I'm playing me. My friend's imitating me. I'm playing my friend's imitating me. Ask me, say, hey, how you doing today?
All right. How you doing today, bud?
I'm a comic. I'm heading to Chicago. It's a club there. I'm working it. Stand-up comedy. Yeah, I been on TV. They go, that's how long you wait. But it's not. I used to say it all the time. Then it lessened. And then it got to the point where, like, maybe 10% of the time I would say it. If I felt it could lead to maybe an interesting conversation.
Right.
But I don't know how this happened. There was a period on airplanes. I'm curious to hear what your number is if you had to give it. 70% of the time I didn't talk. And 30% I did. If I'm putting numbers on it in hindsight. Then it went to like 15% of the time, and then 10%. So majority of the time I wouldn't talk. 10% I would. Now it's like 0. I don't know if it's me, because I don't want to chat the whole way, but I got no problem sitting down. Yeah. But I don't talk on the airplane anymore at all. Huh. I don't know why I'm telling you this.
No, I'm just trying to look. I'm trying to think if I sat down next to you, would I be like, oh, I'm going to talk to this guy, or this guy seems like a fucking creeper? Or like, what would I think? You know, because you seem like an affable person. Like once we start communicating, I mean, you're very, you know, obviously you're good at communicating with people. Do you feel like you're bad at communicating?
Well, sometimes I can have a gruff exterior, so you know, like because you know, some of my family members will go, "What's the matter?" You know, I go, "Oh, why do I look like I'm in a bad mood?" So I figured I have a "What's the matter" face. That's why I keep a close shave. Because when I let a "What's the matter" face with a 3-day growth, you look like a mass murderer.
People are like, "What's the matter?" You're like, "Nothing. I'm just trying to fucking live in here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
leave me alone." Is how I look.
This is what I look like.
I feel great.
It's the big cheeks.
I hate that.
The truth is, I'd rather not talk to anybody. It's better than having people wanting to talk when you don't want to. Because I've always tested the waters.
Right.
Even when I was in the mood to talk, you test the waters. I can tell if someone's friendly and then they don't want to talk, and I shut the fuck up and left them alone. I've literally had it where my headsets are on. You know, I'm friendly. I sit down because you want a good vibe. I always want a good vibe. If you're going to be sitting next to someone for 5 hours,
keep it positive.
Before I go silent, even if I go, "How you doing today?" Pretty good. And then I know if they're getting nervous, they don't have to, because in a second they're going to say, "Oh, this guy was just being friendly for a minute." Headsets go on.
Done.
But then they want to talk. I've heard a guy start talking to me. So I took the headsets off. I went, answered him real politely. Then I go, and put them back on. Yeah. Second time, I just go, "No. I see you talking to me, but you're not.
I'm in here.
You're not talking." But anyway, there's that. These are all segments. Maybe under this in post you could put, "They just talked about phones." I feel like Andy Kindler doing a bit. Maybe that would be particularly fun for the audience.
So you've worked obviously with a lot of the biggest names in comedy. Do you have kind of a core? Like a lot of comedians have like a little bit of a rat pack. Do you have kind of a core? I know that. I know that you have a little bit of a rat pack. Do you have some comedians that you really admire their material specifically?
There's a lot of guys that I admire them. As far as who I hang out with a lot.
I know you and Sarah Silverman are very tight.
Yeah, and I hang out with
in that group.
Yeah, with Jimmy Dore is probably in comedy my best friend in comedy. The thing that I love about Jimmy and people like Sarah and a lot of the people that I hang out with a lot is the ability to enjoy them at so many different levels. The silly level where we'll giggle till 4 a.m, and then not be afraid to have a conversation about a social issue or, you know, whatever. It's just all over and also I like people. I feel like that I hope I'm. It's not fake. I feel I'm generous with my laughter, and generous is a weird word. It sounds like I'm doing it as a. But I like to be funny, and there's nothing like making fucking people laugh off stage. And then it's fun to people
laugh.
And Jimmy Dore, and anybody who hears this should think about how gracious they are with their laughter, because Jimmy Dore's we will crack up and really enjoy the essence of who you are, and you can be high, and he'll go down paths with you, him and his girlfriend Steph. But we've made jokes about people you're with, and you want to go, "Are you ever anything? You're never going to laugh? Nothing I do is making you laugh. Nothing. You're not enjoying this at any level." And so most of my close friends can be funny and also be go both ways. You know, laugh and.
Do you feel like it's hard to befriend comedians?
I love comedians. I really do. So no, I think I've met like a lot of awesome people. I love California. Although I miss home, I still would live here if for the rest of my life. I would never move back. The weather here is awesome. But no, I like comedians. Not all of them, obviously, but most of them.
Yeah.
I like a lot of comedians. I love going to comedy festivals. There's nothing more I like doing than hanging out with stand-up comics. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. I'm at my happiest.
Really? It's cool.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of decent stand-up comics. And again, when I say there's some, obviously there's always some of everything.
Right.
But I'm talking about most of them hanging down here at the Improv. It is truly my favorite thing in the world to do.
It's a good time. I agree.
Just hanging at the bar, maybe drink or smoke pot and run around. Where else can I go? I don't take this for granted. As you get older, you can't always go to public situations and act like you're 18 anymore. Right. And I don't mean loud and obnoxious.
Right.
Even a silliness. You can't giggle and run around the mall. I've done that with other comics. And you're not 14-year-old, and you see people going, are those guys all
like
right? I'm hiding behind a pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I run out. But here, you can be that because the bar here and the bartenders have been here forever, and the waiters.
They get it.
They get it. So you come in, and it's a very comfortable, happy atmosphere here at the Improv, which I crave. And I have I've been out here since 1990.
It's almost like a recharging, I guess, sometimes when I come up here. I feel like I'm kind of recharging my batteries a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. You do get an energy when you come in here. And if you don't get it, maybe it's your fault.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some people going, no, I don't like, everyone I know loves hanging out at the Improv. It's a fun place to hang out.
It's true. I think
now if they'd fix those shows. Anyway.
Well, Todd, it's definitely been a good time, and you know, I'd love to have you come back and talk about some more like different stuff in the future sometime.
I love to talk. Wait till you see the new set next week, folks. We've talked about it. We got a new set next week. You're going to tune in. You're going to go, oh my God, they really do. It's going to look fantastic.
We want to play like a clip of yours that you really, really like. Is there one that you kind of want to show to people? It could be, you know, it could be anything you want.
That's a good question. I'm going to answer that off the air. Okay. Right now, they're going to put it in post underneath. My tour dates, I'm doing, like that. I'm doing August 6th is my hour special.
Very important.
Taping it at the El Rey Theater. It's not going to air then. And then, hey, did we get a call back from that place in, where's that club? We're all right. Still waiting. What's the name of the place?
Still waiting on a call back.
Borderlines. What are you waiting for, Borderlines?
Still waiting a call back for a very important club.
So there's that. And,
you can check out his Thin Pig CD on iTunes. They can get that.
Yes.
And I recommend going to listen to it. Like, I think you can learn a lot about comedy and get your own take on Todd. I mean, obviously you've heard a lot of his, you know, ideas and different kinds of shit here that we've been bullshitting about. Fun. But you know, really see him on like a humorous perspective as well, like a serious, let's fucking get to some funny, you know. Check it out, I think. So yeah, so check him out, Todd. I really appreciate it, dude.
Nice,
definitely an honor. Big fan. Word clerk, and he's out.
Can they fade out?
Yeah.
Roll the credits. There you go. All right. The lady up, I think they think everybody up over, like after 3 in the morning, they think everybody's a moron. I'm watching television a few nights ago. This ad comes on. They're trying to sell this piece of garbage. You plug into the wall and it keeps bugs away. And the voiceover guy goes, are you tired of? You know that guy's trying to scare. Are you tired of? People are at home going, you know? And he goes, are you tired of exterminators coming into your house, spraying harmful chemicals around your children and food? Shut up. They don't even know what you're talking. Yeah, they just come right in the house with their can of chemicals. Hey, is that your baby? Sorry, we gotta get rid of the bugs. We can't spray around stuff. There's another, the Magic Bullet commercial is just by far, this thing, God bless them. It's an hour long, this infomercial, and then they tell you, they go, buy it, it'll save you time. Well, if you're watching an hour infomercial, you can't really act like you're trying to scrape up time. You have time on your hands, basically. And at one point they go, it's great, you can make a chicken salad sandwich in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. First of all, I don't even want a chicken salad sandwich in 3 seconds, but that's not the point. And then they show you, they go, look at this, chopped up onions, some chopped up celery, some chopped up tomatoes. I go, first of all, I don't have little bowls of chopped up prepared in my kitchen. You gotta count the time it takes to chop up the stuff. And they always have somebody that's overreacts. It's too much, you know? They tell you a little bit about the product, and they'll be like, hold on a second. Or hold on. Are you telling me, please already, bring it down. Literally have a woman in the infomercial that goes, you just ground coffee, you ground ice, now you're making the ingredients for a margarita. She goes, I want to know what that thing is. It's a blender, you dumb whore. You do know what a blender is, don't you? People say it's just an actor who took a job. Well, don't take it. If your manager calls you and says, yeah, you got a part, you got to act like you don't know what a blender is. Say, no, thank you. I'd rather turn tricks behind a dumpster behind 7-Eleven. That my parents will never have to see. This they will. I was in Philadelphia. I was doing a live remote, this station, Preston and Steve, WMMR. And we're doing a live remote at this thing called a Watermelon Festival. Now, there really is a Watermelon Festival. And it's basically a carnival, but they had a lot of watermelon seed spitting, the largest watermelon. We're halfway there, and one of the interns from the radio station gets lost on the way to the Watermelon Festival, pulls into a 7-Eleven to get directions, and starts driving towards a group of black people to get directions. to a watermelon festival. And relax, everybody. It has nothing to do with being prejudiced. You don't pull. You have a little sensitivity. You don't pull up. Hey, how you doing? You know where the watermelon festival is, huh? Nothing, huh? Let me tell you something, people. I wouldn't ask black people directions to a watermelon festival if they had a watermelon festival T-shirt on from last year that said, "Ask me how to get to the watermelon festival." Like, no thanks. I'm going inside. Take it away, Cleto. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to a homoerotic massage. I'm your Sherpa, Theo Vaughn. It's a professional. No, he's not a professional massage artist.
No.
But you are, I would say, a professional comedian. Would you say that?
I'm actually a professional physical therapist and a professional comedian. So me touching you is actually, it's not weird.
Well, what is weird?
When he hurt his back in 2010,
Sure.
Who's the guy that he came to for advice? Why?
Jesus.
I may have a master's in physical therapy. I also may be a multitasker as a comedian. Find one other comic for this podcast that can say that. I don't think anyone can.
I don't think anybody can either. Now, this is Jonny Loquasto. You may have seen a lot of his web videos. Loquasto Knows, very popular segment.
Popular meaning hundreds of views across the country on YouTube.
Okay, so not popular. However, this is him. You're Jonny Loquasto.
Yeah. Wow.
That's him. That's him right here. Now, if you're a physical therapist, when you masturbate, does that mean that you have like a inside track to what's going on?
That makes no sense, but I will tell you this. I think it's important to not go that quickly. You know what I mean? As a guy, because you got to train. It's almost like, borderline Olympic training. You got to give yourself a little bit of time before you do your things. That way, at least, because I don't hook up a whole lot. So if I don't hook up a lot, then I embarrass myself when I finally do hook up. So it's that's.
So do you massage yourself and stretch your stuff out a little? Like, do you go to the whole 9 yards of masturbation, or you just because I just kind of get there with my hand, meet my stuff real fast, be like, oh, let's go out in the truck and rush
You're
it
in a
out.
rush.
Yeah.
He's from the South. That's how they do things in the South.
Yeah.
And do you have weird? Let me ask you. Do you have weird kind of fantasies? Do you because I know you're kind of racist. Let's be honest. Do you have fantasies about good-looking black women that you want to have sex with when you're masturbating, or do you just keep it strictly the way the Lord wanted you to be and just white on white? How do you exactly?
Well, since we're opening up a can of fictional worms here,
have you watched them on stage?
I would like to say
very funny.
That sometimes I'll jerk off and watch A Time to Kill. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Then that's all I'll say.
Is that the one with Blair Underwood? That is, right?
Yeah, I don't know their names, but sometimes I'll jerk off and watch
No, there's the
A Time
one
to Kill.
movie with Sean Connery and Blair Underwood where Sean Connery is searching for a killer and Blair Underwood's innocent, then at the end he's the killer. I would masturbate to Blair Underwood. He's an attractive, and now he's the face of AIDS on billboards all across LA.
Okay.
No, he's saying you should get tested. He's not the face of AIDS. He's telling you to get tested for AIDS. But Blair Underwood's on the billboard. It attracts me. I'm like, all right, we should get tested. It's a good spokesmodel.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I put my unit in the face of AIDS a couple weeks ago. This girl.
Really?
And
all right, let me find. Okay.
I'm still feeling.
Now tell me, where did this happen? What city?
This happened in Toledo, Ohio.
And that is an AIDSy kind of town.
Yeah.
Post show.
That's where the underground AIDS road is.
Right. So post show.
A lot of people that have AIDS from the South that are trying to get away from AIDS.
Okay.
Run through there.
And so what happened? Post show, you met a lady.
Yeah.
She was like, oh my God, you're Theo Vaughn.
Yes.
From cranktext.com.
Yes.
I need you to be inside me pronto.
Yeah.
So back to the hotel room, which this guy only rolls penthouse at the Best Western.
Hampton Inn.
Top floor.
Getting Hampton in there.
And so, did you not have protection?
You mean like a shield, or what do you mean like a knife?
Yeah, did you just shiver her with the shield and then penetrate? I mean, did you have a condom?
No, I did have a condom actually. It was here.
So why are you looking? So you should have been okay.
I had a condom here in my room though, but I was in Toledo.
They have condoms in Toledo, don't they?
Yeah, dude. But at $3 a pop, I'll take my chance with the HIV. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
you know what? He's thrifty.
In other news, now I would easily classify you as an up and coming comedian. Very popular here on the circuit around Los Angeles.
Well, I hope
You do all the clubs.
Sure. Well,
do?
kind of.
But it's true.
The only one that matters is the improv, right?
You do, and
F everything else.
And how long have you been doing this? Obviously, you're a Philly native.
Almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years. You see
Yeah.
that? You were a beautiful boy when you started this. Did anybody ever tell you that?
Have I changed? I'm not attractive anymore? Or?
I don't know. Just answer the question.
Yeah, I was a beautiful kid. I was a beautiful man. And I think my soul resonates when I'm on stage.
I'd agree with that, actually.
Tonight, I'm hosting the Comedy Juice show tonight. It's the first show of the post-Bin Laden era. What did I do to start the show off? I got the entire audience to chant USA, USA for 30 seconds.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
how you start off a show. I said, guys, we're going to create a moment. We'll get to the jokes. We're going to create a moment right now. Everyone started chanting USA, USA. It was beautiful. I felt like everyone was at my command. I was like left side, middle, right side. I felt like a friendly Hitler. It was unbelievable.
Ooh, I
they
like
just
that.
cheered USA, USA. But you know what? They just lit. I had to go back downstairs.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got to bring up the next comic.
Okay, well, we want to see you in the future.
Yeah.
Become like a really big star.
God, I hope
Can
so.
you do that for us?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Okay. And where can we find you if we want to check you out right now?
JLowComedy.com, JLOComedy.com, Twitter.com/JLowComedy. That's it.
Okay, wow.
You can see me in Pennsylvania next week. I'm flying home for a wedding.
Sure. Getting a little German over here. However, this guy, funny man, and you can see him right now. We're going to play one of his clips. Ladies and gentlemen, up-and-coming comedian, Jonny Loquasto.
I wonder what they're playing.
I don't know.
Theo
sir.
Vaughn, Cranktext.com.
Physical therapy.
I'm getting to that point in my life where like subtle things are making you realize you're getting older. Like I get more excited to watch reruns than actual new TV shows. You know what I mean? It always happens at like 1 in the morning. You're about to pass out for the night. You're like, hold on a second. I can watch Fresh Prince and Living Color back to back. Yes! It is 1993 all over again. Do it, Fly Girls. Come on! Then 2 a.m. hits and Frasier comes on, and you're like, all right, this show sucks. I'm going to bed. All right, cool. People are afraid of getting older. I'm not. I think getting older is actually kind of fun. Think about it. The older you get, the lower your expectations can be for yourself. No one judges you. You know what I mean? A couple years ago, my goal was to own a house by 30. Now my goal, not have a roommate by 40. You know what I mean? Just kicking things down a notch. It feels good. It might not be romantic to bring a girl back to a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-dude apartment. I don't give a shit. Hop in the race car bed. We'll get things done. You know what I'm saying? And I live in a shoebox, too. I live in a tiny place, and my roommate just invited his girlfriend to move in. So now I'm back in a relationship. I didn't even know. Like, you ever try to live with 2 people that are dating? You can't do it, because you gotta choose sides. You know what I mean? Like, you ever been around 2 people that argue so much you deserve to be there for the makeup sex, too? You know what I mean? You should be able to just walk into the bedroom like, hey, let me know when I can tag in, guys. I love being an adult. Seriously, you can live like a child as an adult. No one cares. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm a grown man. My 2 biggest passions in life besides this are professional wrestling and ghost hunting. I swear to God. Where I come from, I would be considered special needs. Out here, I'm a dreamer. It's awesome. There's no one to give you a reality check as you're an adult. Who else here uses Facebook as their morning newspaper? I do. Who needs to know what's going on in the world? Just log on to your newsfeed every morning. Like, all right, let's see what's going on today. Well, Farmville says a drought's coming. Son of a bitch! Put down in my showers. Let's see, Ronnie just became a fan of boobies. Ditto, like. You know what I mean?
Well, that's our show. I want to thank our guests, Todd Glass and Jonny Loquasto, for stopping by the Improv this evening. Remember to check us out on iTunes and subscribe to us, the Comedy Sideshow. See you next week with another awesome show. I'm Theo Von Superstein. Thank you for stopping by.